What if I told you that death is not the end, but just a door that opens to something much greater? What if your consciousness, this force you feel pulsing within you right now, was eternal and indestructible, like the stars in the sky? Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to reveal an ancient secret that can completely change the way you see life, death, and your own purpose in this world. My dear friend, I am Tashi Master, and this is our channel dedicated to exploring the deepest mysteries of existence through ancient Buddhist wisdom. Before we begin this transformative journey, I need a small favor from you. If this message is reaching you today, it's no coincidence. The universe conspires so that those who are ready will discover these truths. Click the Sign Up Now button and be part of this global awakening movement. Together, we are creating a more conscious, more loving, and more enlightened world. Your registration isn't just a click, it's a vote of confidence in the transformation of humanity. Now, my friend, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and feel. Do you feel this anguish that lives in your chest? This question that echoes in the silence of the dawn? What happens when I die? Everything I am, everything I love, just disappears? You are not alone in this fear. This is humanity's most ancient pain, the terror of the unknown, the dread of total extinction. How many nights have you spent awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the crushing weight of finitude? How many times have you hugged someone you love, and a chill ran down your spine at the thought that one day, perhaps that person will no longer be here? This pain you feel isn't weakness, it's pure humanity. It's your soul's cry for answers, for meaning, for something that transcends this seemingly fragile and temporary existence. Let me tell you a story that changed the world over 2,500 years ago. Once upon a time, there was a young prince named Siddhartha who lived sheltered in a golden palace. His father, fearing that he would discover the world's suffering, had created a perfect bubble around him. Only youth, beauty, wealth, and pleasure. But life, my friend, has a peculiar way of showing us its deepest truths when we least expect it. One day, Siddhartha asked to leave the palace, and then his 4 visions changed everything. First view, an elderly man bent over by time, walking with difficulty. Siddhartha had never seen old age. His heart sank. Will this happen to me too? Second view, a sick man, suffering, moaning in pain. Illness, that unwelcome visitor who chooses neither palace nor hut. Siddhartha felt his security crumble. None of us are safe. Third view, a corpse being carried, followed by a procession of weeping people. Death, the great democratizer, the only absolute certainty. In that moment, Siddhartha understood that all his wealth, all his position, all his power were illusions before this inescapable truth. Fourth vision, an ascetic, a holy man, walking serenely, radiating a peace Siddhartha had never seen. His eyes shone with a wisdom that seemed to transcend all the suffering of the world. That night, my friend, Prince Siddhartha did something that would change not only his life, but all of humanity. He abandoned his palace, his family, his heritage, everything, in search of an answer to human suffering. Have you ever wondered why this story touches us so deeply? Because Siddhartha is you. Siddhartha is me. Siddhartha is all of us when we awaken to the reality of our human condition. After years of intense searching, extreme deprivation, and deep meditation, Siddhartha finally found his answer beneath a Bodhi tree. And what he discovered will make you rethink everything about life and death. He realized that consciousness, this force that is perceiving these words now, this presence that feels your emotions, that observes your thoughts, is not produced by the brain, my friend. The brain is just a radio, and consciousness is the station it picks up. Imagine a mighty river. You see the water flowing by, 1,000 liters a second, 2,000, 3,000. The water changes constantly, but the river remains. The water is like your thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, always changing, always flowing. But the river, the consciousness that observes all of this, remains.
Siddhartha, now the Buddha, the awakened one, discovered something revolutionary. Consciousness is indestructible because it is not matter. It is the very essence of existence. Today, my dear friend, even the most advanced science is reaching the same conclusions that the Buddha reached millennia ago. Quantum physicist Dr. Amit Goswami discovered that consciousness does not emerge from matter. It is matter that emerges from consciousness. Renowned neurosurgeon Dr. Eben Alexander, after a near-death experience, declared, "Consciousness exists independently of the brain." But you don't need diplomas or titles to feel this truth. It pulses within you right now. Close your eyes again. Feel your breath. Who is watching your breath? Watch your thoughts. Who is watching your thoughts? Feel your emotions. Who is feeling your emotions? This who, this conscious presence is what Buddhists call your true nature, and it is eternal. Let me offer an analogy that may change your perception forever. Imagine the infinite ocean. In this ocean, waves emerge, some small, some gigantic, each unique in its shape and movement. Each wave has its own personality, its own strength, its own particular beauty. For a few precious moments, it dances on the surface, shimmering in the sun, interacting with other waves, creating unique and unrepeatable patterns. But then, inevitably, the wave breaks on the shore. It dies. Now answer me, when a wave breaks, does it truly cease to exist? Or does it simply return to the ocean from which it came? You, my friend, are that wave. Your personality, your memories, your experiences, all of these are the unique form your consciousness has taken in this lifetime. But your deepest essence is the very ocean of universal consciousness. When your physical body departs, it is as if the wave returns to the ocean. The form dissolves, but the essence remains. And just as the ocean can generate infinite waves, universal consciousness can manifest infinite existences. I know you might be thinking, but Tashi, even if that's true, I'm still scared. I still feel this anguish of losing the people I love, of leaving behind everything I know. My dear friend, your pain is sacred. Don't try to suppress or deny it. The Buddha didn't teach that we should become insensitive. He taught that we should understand the nature of our suffering in order to transcend it. I remember a deeply moving story. A mother came to Buddha carrying the body of her young son who had died. She begged, "Please bring my son back to life." The Buddha said, "I can help you, but first you must bring me a mustard seed from a house where there has never been death." The woman went out with hope, knocking on doors. In each house, people wanted to help. They had mustard seeds, but in all of them, there were stories of loss, of death, of grief. At the end of the day, she returned to the Buddha with empty hands, but with a heart filled with profound understanding that she was not alone in her suffering. Death was part of the universal human condition. In that moment, her pain didn't disappear, it transformed. She understood that the love she felt for her son was eternal, indestructible, and that the death of the body could not touch it. Now, my dear friend, we come to the heart of the question that opened this video. Why doesn't consciousness end at death? To answer this, I need you to understand something fundamental about the nature of reality. Have you ever stopped to think about who you really are? Not your name, your profession, your age, but who you really are. You are not your thoughts, because you can observe them. You are not your emotions, because you can feel them come and go. You are not your body, because even as it ages and changes, something in you remains constant, observing these changes. This something is your pure consciousness, and it has an extraordinary characteristic. She was never born, therefore she can never die. There is a Zen story that perfectly illustrates this mystery. A young disciple approached his master with a lit candle and asked, "Master, when I blow out this candle and it goes out, where will the flame go?" The master smiled and replied, "When you lit this candle using another candle, where did the flame come from?" The disciple remained silent, contemplating.
"The flame goes nowhere when the candle goes out," the master continued, "just as it comes from nowhere when the candle is lit. The flame is a temporary manifestation of the eternal fire that permeates all existence. Do you understand, my friend? Your consciousness is like this eternal flame. When your candle body goes out, the flame doesn't disappear. It simply ceases to be visible in this particular dimension. In Tibetan Buddhism, there is a profound teaching about the bardos, the intermediate states of consciousness. These teachings, preserved in the famous Tibetan Book of the Dead, map out exactly what happens to consciousness during and after physical death. Imagine you're a diver in the deep ocean. When you dive, are born, your consciousness focuses on a specific experience, the underwater world of human life. You identify so much with this experience that you forget there is a world on the surface. But when you ascend or die, you do not cease to exist. You simply return to the surface, to the natural state of pure consciousness. The bardos describe three main states. 1. Bardo of life, this moment now, while you live in this body. 2. Bardo of dying, the process of dissolving consciousness from the physical body. 3. Bardo of becoming, the intermediate state where consciousness exists in its pure form before manifesting a new existence. But be careful, my dear friend. This isn't just theoretical knowledge. This wisdom can completely transform how you live today. When you truly understand that your consciousness is indestructible, something magical happens. You stop living in fear and start living with purpose. Let me tell you about Maria.
A woman who lost her husband in a car accident. For months she lived in the deepest despair. "He's gone forever," she repeated. "I'll never see him again." Then she encountered the Buddhist teachings on the continuity of consciousness. She didn't have to abandon her pain, but she learned to transform it. She began to meditate, to feel the loving presence that transcended his physical body. Today, Maria dedicates her life to helping others who are grieving. She says, "Now I know that love is indestructible. The form changes, but the essence remains. My husband is not gone. He just changed state, and our love continues to guide me." Buddhist masters have practiced something called maranasati, the contemplation of death, for millennia. Not out of morbid fascination, but for a profoundly liberating reason. When you truly accept the impermanence of all things, you stop wasting energy holding on to what you can't control and start focusing on what truly matters. Practical exercise. Every night before you go to sleep, reflect on this. Today may have been my last day in this body. Did I live with love? Did I forgive those who needed to be forgiven? Did I say the right words to those who needed to hear them? Did I contribute to reducing suffering in the world? This is not a practice to generate anguish, my friend. It is to generate sacred urgency, the urgency to live fully, lovingly, consciously. Now we come to one of the most misunderstood aspects of Buddhism, karma. Many people think of karma as divine punishment or reward, but karma is much simpler and more profound than that. Karma is the natural law of cause and effect applied to consciousness. It's like the law of gravity. It's neither moral nor immoral, it's simply how the universe works. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take creates ripples in the ocean of consciousness. These ripples are not lost when your body dies. They continue shaping the next manifestations of your consciousness. Think of it like planting seeds in a cosmic garden. If you plant seeds of love, compassion, and wisdom, you will reap flowers of joy and peace. If you plant seeds of hatred, greed, and ignorance, you will reap thorns of suffering and confusion. There is a Buddhist parable that perfectly illustrates how karma works. A merchant walked along a road carrying 2 bags, one full of stones, the other full of precious seeds. With every act of kindness he witnessed or performed, he threw away a stone. With every act of cruelty or selfishness, he added a stone. Over time, he realized he had the power to choose what to carry, the weight of stones or the promise of seeds. You, my friend, carry these 2 bags at this very moment. With every choice you make, every word you speak, every thought you entertain, you are choosing what to take with you on your next journeys of consciousness.
But here's the deepest secret I want to share with you. You don't have to wait until death to experience your eternal nature. You can touch this dimension of consciousness right now. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Now observe your breathing without controlling it. Just observe. Observe your thoughts without judging them. Just observe. Observe your bodily sensations without resisting. Just observe. Now answer me. Who is observing? Where is this observer located? Can you find its limits, its beginning, its end? This consciousness you are experiencing right now, formless, limitless, pure presence, this is your true nature. And it is exactly the same consciousness that continues when the body is gone. But now I must be firm with you, my dear friend. The time has come to face the most challenging truth. What you think is you, your personality, your memories, your fears, your desires, is all temporary. It's like an actor in the theater of life. The actor wears a costume, adopts a personality, lives a specific story. But when the play ends, he takes off the costume and returns home. The costume is not the actor. It's just a role he played. Your current personality is the costume your consciousness is wearing in this life. When the play ends, when the body dies, consciousness takes off this costume and returns to its original home, oneness with the whole. Does this mean you will lose your identity forever? No. It means something much more beautiful. You will discover who you really are beyond all masks and limitations. Imagine you're an eternal dreamer. Every night you dream of being a different person, sometimes a king, sometimes a peasant, sometimes a child playing on the beach, sometimes a wise man meditating on a mountain. In each dream, you are completely immersed in that reality. When you are the king, you feel the weight of the crown and the responsibility of the throne. When you are the child, you feel the simple joy of sand between your fingers. Every dream feels absolutely real as you live it. But when you awaken, you realize an extraordinary truth. You were neither the king, nor the peasant, nor the child. You were the dreamer behind all these characters. Each life you lived in dreams enriched your experience, but none of them defined your true identity. This life you're living now, my friend, is one of those cosmic dreams. And death is simply awakening. Now, I know some people might be thinking, but Tashi, if that's true, why do we suffer so much? Why does life seem so difficult sometimes? Ah, my dear friend, this is perhaps the most important question of all, and the answer goes to the heart of Buddhist wisdom. We suffer not because life is cruel, but because we resist the lessons it wants to teach us. It's like a child who resists learning to walk. They fall, hurt their knee, cry. But it's precisely through these falls that they develop the balance necessary to take their first steps. Every hardship you face is an opportunity for spiritual growth. Every loss is an invitation to discover what is truly indestructible within you. Every moment of pain is a door opening to deeper compassion. Let me tell you about João, a successful executive who lost everything in a single day: his job, his home, his family. At 45, he found himself alone, broke, and without prospects. "Why is this happening to me?" he screamed at the universe.
I worked so hard. I was a good person. Why am I being punished? For months, João lived in bitterness and despair, until one day, at the height of his crisis, something extraordinary happened. He stopped resisting reality. He stopped fighting reality and began observing it. In that moment of total surrender, João experienced something he had never felt before: a deep peace, a calm acceptance, an understanding that there was something greater happening in his life. He began meditating, studying spiritual philosophies, and helping people in similar situations. He discovered that his tragedy had actually been an awakening in disguise. Today, João says, "I lost everything I thought was important and found everything that really matters. I lost my small self and found my true self." Now I'm going to share with you 3 powerful practices that can transform your relationship with life and death starting today. First jewel, the practice of impermanence. Every day, choose 3 things you value. It could be your home, your family, your health, or your job. Now, for 5 minutes, deeply contemplate. This too shall pass. Everything that is born grows and dies. This situation is temporary.
At first, this may cause anxiety, but gradually you'll discover an extraordinary freedom. When you don't cling desperately to things, you can fully appreciate them while they're here. Second jewel, the meditation of conscious death. Every night, before you go to sleep, lie down and imagine that this is your last day of life. Feel gratitude for everything you've experienced. Forgive all hurts. Send love to all the people you care about. Then, imagine your consciousness gently separating from your body, like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. Feel yourself expanding, becoming one with the infinite universe. This practice isn't morbid, it's liberating. It teaches you to live each day as the sacred gift it truly is. Third jewel, the cultivation of universal compassion. Throughout the day, whenever you encounter someone suffering, whether it's a beggar on the street, a stressed-out colleague, or even yourself going through a difficult time, remember, this suffering consciousness is the same consciousness that exists within me. We are waves of the same ocean. Mentally, send love and understanding. You'll find that the more compassion you offer, the more peace you experience. In Tibetan monasteries, there is a secret practice passed down only to the most advanced disciples. It is called Poa, the transference of consciousness. Lamas spend years learning to consciously direct their consciousness out of the body at the moment of death. They don't wait for death to happen to them. They actively participate in the process, guiding their consciousness to higher states of realization. But here's the secret I want to share with you. You don't have to be a Tibetan Lama to practice this. Every moment of deep meditation, every instance of total presence, every second of unconditional love is a small death of the ego and a rebirth into pure consciousness. My dear friend, at this very moment, as you listen to these words, a silent revolution is taking place in your consciousness. You are beginning to awaken from the illusion of separation, from the belief in absolute mortality,
from the fear that has controlled humanity for millennia. You are remembering who you really are: pure consciousness, infinite love, eternal wisdom, temporarily clothed in the clothing of this personality, this life, this human experience. And when you awaken to this truth, something magical happens. You stop living in fear and start living in reverence. You stop worrying about what you'll lose and start celebrating what you can give. You stop fearing the future and start embracing the sacred present. But now I need to ask a question that may bother you. How much longer will you live sleeping? How many more days will you waste worrying about trivialities while ignoring the miracle of your own existence? How many opportunities to love deeply will you miss by being too busy with your petty anxieties? Time is passing, my friend, not in a threatening way, but in a precious way. Every second that passes is a unique opportunity to awaken, to love, to grow, to contribute to the elevation of planetary consciousness. You have a mission in this life, and it's not to accumulate material things or impress others. Your mission is to awaken to your true nature and help others do the same. Now I want to take you beyond theory and analogies. I want you to directly experience the continuity of consciousness. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Sit comfortably, with your spine straight but relaxed. Close your eyes, and together we'll explore the mysteries of consciousness. First, take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, allow all the tensions of the day to melt away. You are entering a sacred space, the temple of your own consciousness. Now, imagine yourself lying in bed, very old, on your last day of life. Feel the lightness of your tired body, your breathing becoming more subtle. There is no fear, just a calm curiosity about the mystery that lies ahead. Notice how your thoughts begin to quiet. Worldly concerns fade away. What remains? A calm, conscious presence, observing everything, without clinging to anything. Feel your consciousness expanding beyond the confines of your body. You are no longer contained by flesh and blood. You are pure conscious space, infinite, without boundaries. Now you understand, you were never just this body. You were always this unlimited consciousness that was simply experiencing a temporary human life. Slowly open your eyes. How do you feel? Different? This experience you just had wasn't imagination. It was a direct glimpse into your true immortal nature.
In Tibetan Buddhist teachings, there are specific signs that indicate when someone is developing mastery over consciousness and preparing for a conscious death. I want to share these signs with you because they can serve as spiritual goals for this life. First sign: absence of fear of death. Not because you deny reality, but because you understand that death is just a transition, like taking off tight clothing at the end of a long day. Second sign: deep peace in the face of loss. You still feel sadness when you lose a loved one, but there's a calm acceptance, because you know only the form has changed, not the essence. Third sign: constant presence. You live less in the past and future, more in the present moment, because you understand that the now
is where eternity reveals itself. Fourth sign, spontaneous compassion. You naturally care about the suffering of others because you recognize that we are all manifestations of the same universal consciousness. Fifth sign, detachment from results. You act with love and dedication, but you don't despair when things don't go as planned because you trust in the greater cosmic flow. There's a Tibetan story that perfectly illustrates what it is like to live with this awakened consciousness. Milarepa, the great Tibetan yogi, spent years meditating alone in a mountain cave. One day, some bandits came to his cave looking for treasure. "Where have you hidden your riches?" they shouted, brandishing their swords. Milarepa laughed softly and said, "My riches are here," pointing to his own heart. "They're invisible to the eye, but more precious than all the gold in the world." The bandits were furious. "You're mocking us. We'll kill you if you don't tell us where the treasure is." "Please," said Milarepa with sincere compassion, "kill me if it will make you happy. But know that you will be killing only this old, tired body. That which I really am, the consciousness that you also are, is immortal and indestructible." There was such serenity and love in Milarepa's words that the bandits lowered their weapons, confused and touched. "How can you not be afraid of death?" they asked. "How can you be afraid of something that doesn't exist?" he replied. "Death is just an illusion created by the mind that identifies with the temporary. When you discover your eternal nature, fear simply disappears." The bandits left transformed, and some became his disciples. Now I will teach you the 3 purifications that Buddhist masters practice to ensure a conscious transition when your time comes. First purification, of the body. Treat your body as a sacred temple, but without attachment. Eat mindfully, exercise with gratitude, and rest when necessary. But always remember, you are not the body. You temporarily inhabit it. Second purification, of speech. Use your words to heal, uplift, and inspire. Avoid gossip, lies, and unnecessary harsh words. Every word you speak creates ripples in the ocean of collective consciousness. May your words be blessings. Third purification, of the mind. This is the most important one. Practice observing your thoughts daily without judgment. Cultivate thoughts of love, compassion, and gratitude. When negative thoughts arise, don't suppress them. Simply watch them pass like clouds in the sky of consciousness. And here we come to the beating heart of the message that brought you to this video, my dear friend. The big reveal I promised at the beginning. Consciousness does not end at death, because it never began at birth. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Your true essence predates the Big Bang and postdates the end of the universe. You're a beam of eternal light, playing mortal for a few decades. When you truly understand this, not intellectually, but viscerally, everything changes. Your problems don't disappear, but they become opportunities for growth. Your relationships don't become perfect, but they become sacred. Your life doesn't become easy, but it becomes meaningful. But now, I must confront you with an uncomfortable truth. You are dying right now. not dramatically or morbidly, but naturally and steadily. With every passing second, you're a little closer to the great transition. The cells in your body are constantly dying and being reborn. Yesterday's you is already dead. Tomorrow's you hasn't yet been born. There is only you now. And this now is sacred. This now is your only real opportunity to awaken, to love, to grow, to contribute. How many people do you know who live as if they were immortal, indefinitely postponing their most important accomplishments? When I retire, I'll travel. When the kids are grown, I'll follow my dreams. When I have more money, I'll help those in need. What if you don't have all the time you think you do? What if life is calling you to wake up now, not someday?
In Buddhism, we talk about the 5 mental poisons that cause suffering: greed, hatred, ignorance, pride, and envy. But here's a profound secret. When you understand the continuity of consciousness, these poisons transform into medicines. Greed turns into generosity when you realize that everything you own is temporary and that true wealth lies in giving. Hatred turns into compassion when you understand that whoever hurts you is suffering as much as you and acting out of their own ignorance. Ignorance turns into wisdom when you stop resisting life's lessons and start seeing each experience as an opportunity for growth. Pride turns into humility when you realize that your personality is just a temporary role in the cosmic theater of consciousness. Envy turns into empathic joy when you understand that the success of others is also your success, because we are all manifestations of the same one consciousness. The time has come, my dear friend, to make a choice that will define not only the rest of this life, but the future of your eternal journey of consciousness. Are you going to go on living as if you were just this temporary body, this ever-changing set of thoughts and emotions, this limited and mortal personality? Or will you embrace your true identity as pure consciousness, infinite love, eternal wisdom, temporarily manifested in this precious human form? This isn't a decision you have to make just once. It's a choice you make every moment, with every breath, every thought, every word, every action. Now I'm going to share with you a sacred protocol, a daily practice that will consciously connect you with your immortal nature and completely transform your experience of life. When you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, place your hand on your heart and feel, I am eternal consciousness, experiencing another day in this sacred body. May I use this day to awaken, love, and raise the consciousness of the world. During the day, every hour, take a 30-second break. Observe your breath and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, I am not my body. I am pure consciousness, observing all of this. At night, before sleeping, lie down and review your day with compassion. For every mistake you made, forgive yourself with love. For every moment of kindness, feel gratitude. Then visualize your consciousness expanding beyond your body, connecting with universal consciousness. This simple practice, done consistently, will reveal to you dimensions of existence that you never imagined were possible. I want to propose something revolutionary. Write your spiritual testament today. Not a legal document about material possessions,
but a love letter to the future manifestations of your consciousness. Start like this: to whoever I become in my next journeys. Then write, what lessons have you learned in this life that you don't want to forget? What patterns of suffering have you broken that you don't want to repeat? What seeds of love and wisdom have you planted? What message of hope do you want to convey? This isn't a fanciful exercise. It is an ancient practice of connecting with the continuity of consciousness. Great masters have always left spiritual testaments for their future incarnations. And here's something that may move you deeply. You are not alone on this journey of awakening. Right now, thousands of people around the world are going through the same transformation as you. There is an invisible network connecting all consciousnesses awakening to their eternal nature. Every time you meditate, every time you choose love over fear, every time you treat another being with compassion, you strengthen this planetary network of light. You're not just an individual seeking personal growth. You're part of a global spiritual revolution that's raising the consciousness of all humanity. Before we get to the conclusion of this life-changing video, I want you to honestly answer 3 questions that can completely redefine your existence. First question: if you knew with absolute certainty that your consciousness was eternal and indestructible, how would you live differently from today on? Second question: if you understood viscerally that all beings are manifestations of the same universal consciousness, how would you treat the people around you? Third question: if you realized that every moment of suffering is an opportunity to awaken, and every moment of joy is a sacred gift, how would you embrace your experiences?